What's always with that?
Hello, guys, and welcome to DM Podcast episode 12. I'm with the very handsome Mick and Mark. How are we? So, today we're going to be covering a bit of news that was posted on the brand spanking new, very clean, very tidy, very easy to scroll through DM News. It's dmnews.co.uk. It's a new taxi and Uber related news blog. So go check that out if you want. It's dmnews.co.uk. And we're going to be talking about and reacting about the news from that website and other little bits and bobs and general chit chat. We're all looking a bit tired now, so we're going to see what's happening. And I'm knackered, but not work related, but I'll tell you now. And then we're going to got a few subjects to talk about as well. Some that'll be a bit funny and a bit interesting anyway. But yeah, first of all, I'm tired because I went out on Saturday, had a few pints, and the worst thing I can ever do is lie in. So I lied in yesterday till about 9:30. Then I couldn't sleep till about 2 this morning because I had to lie in. I'm like a toddler. Too much sleep and I'm all excited and up all night. And then I got up at 6 a.m. this morning just because that's what time I normally wake up if you haven't had any ale. So I've had about 4 hours sleep, not work related, just knackered. So I've got a busy day, I've got to do the podcast, I've got to go and sort out the minibus. Yes, I have sold the minibus. The video goes live at 5 p.m. tonight, but this is being filmed Monday, so on Monday you'll watch the video anyway. It goes live on Monday. Yeah, I sold the minibus. I give the reasons why in that video. And yeah, that's it really. Just sort the minibus out and do the podcast editing. How about, oh, look at a little wingman here. Do it, hey, do a magic trick, Mick. Mick, what have you got on today, mate? Or what have you done this morning? Yeah, I can see him in the bottom left just a touch. Hello, lad. So what have you had on today, Mick?
3 JLA. And that's it.
That's it today? And
That's
just to school, though? Take the kids to school?
Kids to school and then chill for the day, get the kids back, then a dance run after. Yeah, just family stuff. And then I've got a 5:15 in the morning and at 12 o'clock tomorrow.
So a bit of it work related, like work chill, but obviously family busy as per usual.
Yeah, never get away from the family
rest of the wicked, is it? Because less work you do, you just got more family stuff to do at home, innit?
Yeah. I can see him now.
I can see him. Mark, how about yourself, mate? What have you had on today?
This morning,
have you got a busy day?
all I had this morning was a back-to-back Manchester.
This morning?
Yeah. Got back about 6:20, and then did the mistake of laying on the bed and fell asleep and got up precisely 20 minutes ago. So if I look dishevelled, it's not because I've been drunk like what Matty's been doing. And then I've got 11 o'clock out to Manchester.
Oh, today, yeah? So you've been busy?
Yeah.
No sign to slow down for your firm?
No.
Did you watch the boxing on Saturday? That was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it?
Good though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was exciting. That's what I like about heavyweight boxing. It was just so exciting to watch.
It's unpredictable.
Everyone was expecting Joshua to win as well. And it was absolutely, it was a flipping good fight. I enjoyed it.
He's got a chin on him, not to bar, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a big beast, isn't he?
Joshua obviously hasn't.
Yeah. Joshua hasn't. He's been shown that a few times now, and he has got a bit of a sketchy chin. But to be honest, that first dig, did you see it when it like dismorphed his face? Joshua's face was like, oh,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? His face looked like Play-Doh, like. So I'm pretty sure no one would have survived that. Like,
no.
Do you know what I mean?
Looked like Tim out of Hitch.
This is a bit of a crappy situation, right? But a taxi driver, we've all been caught short one way or another, right? But a taxi driver got caught on someone's CCTV, right? This full article is on dmnews.co.uk, by the way. Go check it out. And so he got caught on a household CCTV. So he must have done this in like a close or a cul-de-sac. And he got out of his taxi. He had a poo on the pavement. The article says poos like a dog on the pavement, squats, wipes his bum and throws the tissue on the floor, right, and then gets off. And then the homeowner goes out and still sees the pooey paper and the human poo on the pavement outside his house, and he didn't clean it up. Right? Right. So what I was going to say to this about this, right, when you gotta go, but clean up your mess. You know what I mean? But what I wanted to say, right, I've never actually had a situation where it involves poo. I've always been able, quite lucky, to hold it in and stuff like that. But one day I was feeling a bit queasy, nothing like bad, like feeling sick, but like you just feel a bit queasy, feel a bit off. And I was driving, and I had passengers, and I was driving, dropping them off. And you know when you get those super rich cars that they're running like super rich, and the fumes come in your car and it proper reeks. So I had a proper dicky, like felt a bit sensitive anyway. The fumes come in the car and it just hit me like a wall, and I went grey. And I'm driving these customers home, and I'm about 5 minutes from the house, and I'm just thinking, this is going to be bad. I'll hold it in, get them, and then I'll sort it. And literally I opened it and said, house on the left, love. And she's like that. And I just opened the door. Outside that house, I opened the door and just went like projectile vomit outside this woman's house, dropped them off in the airport. And honestly, God, I felt like this big. I was so ashamed. So I was like, listen, that car, the smell before just knocked me sick. And I just,
Oh,
honestly, God, it was bad. So I ended up getting I asked her for the kettle and everything, and I cleaned it all up and everything else. Felt terrible. And she still gave me a tip for the job. So generally, it must have been quite good, other than throwing up on the more or less on the shoes, right? So what I wanted to go to you guys, right? That's my I've had a bit of a disgusting close call. But Mick, have you had anything similar? Have you had a bit of a close call when it comes to bodily functions while having passengers or on the way to passengers?
No. I've had to get out and be sick without passengers.
Have you?
Yeah, but I've never been in a position where I've had passengers on, and I've had to.
So what happened
enough,
with it being sick then? Was there was a bug going around or something, or just
I
dodgy
don't know
curry or
what it
something?
was. I like you said, I had like something in the morning. I can't barely remember, to be totally honest. Something in the morning is just like something stuck there type of thing.
Yeah.
And then the bellyache came when I was driving. This is probably after I've done all my work, what I can remember of it. And I had to get out and be sick on the road, but it was never it wasn't. I never got myself into a position or been in a position where I've had to do it outside someone's
Customers.
house or in front of traffic or anything like that. I've always been able to contain myself,
In my opinion, right? The guy.
Don't get me wrong. I've sat on a few turtles' heads coming home and things like that, but
Yeah.
I've never come to I've never come to the point where I've had to stop in a cul-de-sac and shit on the side of the pavement. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I don't get, Mick. Right? If you look at the thing, I'm pretty sure the fella said that he was parked up for a while outside the fella's house.
oh
He got
no.
out, he had a poo, and then he got back in the car and carried on chilling in the car. Do you know what I mean? It's like he just used it as his toilet more than like it was an emergency. Do you know what I mean? Like myself, personally, if I'm parked up and I go, I need to go on a bit, you'd go find the tree, wouldn't you? Or you go in the woods, or because obviously accidents happen. We're all on the road. Sometimes there's not a public toilet around the corner. Do you know what I mean? But this is where I come across. Now, if you don't know anyone who has got a bad reputation for having bad bowels, it's our Mark. He's had some stories and telling you about bowel scenarios. So, Mark, go on, lad, tell us a story.
Too many. When you've got to go, you got to go.
That is
But
true.
I've never done it like that bloke said. I've got a story coming over from Woodhead. Got to Manchester Airport with customers on board, and I needed to go. Dropped him off because I was doing something. Got the suitcases out. Got back in car. Thought to myself, right, I'm going to go somewhere. But it kind of wore off. So I thought, sound, I'll be able to get back home. It takes about an hour to get home. Anyway, got onto Woodhead, didn't I? And my stomach grumbled. And I couldn't keep it in. Pulled into the quickest lay-by. I shot out, literally. I ran round the side of the car, went into the bushes, cars flying past, and there's me with my head just poking out the bushes. But I didn't do it on any pavement.
To the bushes.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it to the bushes. That was probably the scariest moment of crapping myself.
What though, right, Mark? And you
how
are
old
good.
are you,
what,
Mark?
what people don't understand, by the way, I just want to say that quick. What I want to add is Woodhead. I don't know if you know, it's called like Snake Pass and all that, innit? And it's a really big, long country lane between Manchester and Sheffield. And there's no garages or shops or nothing on it, is it? It's just like in the wilderness through the more or less the hills, doesn't it?
It's about 13, 14 mile when you get out of Tintwistle. It's about 13, 14 mile to the nearest toilet. And there's a few lay-bys.
When you gotta go.
Yeah. I had to, I felt dirty afterwards.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I did clean up, literally. I did clean.
Yeah, you got it, yeah. But like I said, it is. But what were you going to say, Mick, by the way? What were you going to say about him?
I was going to say, how old are you, Mark?
I'm 47 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, so you got 12 years on me, so maybe when I'm 47, I might have to dash out into the woods.
That's what I mean, mate. You got 10 years on me as well, Mark.
When it comes on you, maybe when you're that age.
Yep. Well, no.
Is that what it is? Is it age-related?
I've always suffered with it. The whole family suffer with it.
Well, just like literally just a weak bow.
Well, now it's just how can I put it so it's not when it's not solid, it's like water, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you try and keep a leaking tap in, it's hard.
Yeah, you failed by the way. I'm not going minging. I just imagined like a leaking tap of brown water.
Nice.
All I want to say is, look, you got leather seats, lad, did it?
Yeah.
Are they brown? Because listen, lads, I had the brown. Remember, I had that brown Skoda with the brown leather interior and the brown exterior, called it the Big Turd. That would have been sound, and you could poo all day in there, couldn't you? Couldn't even never tell.
With about 1,001 air fresheners.
Telling you. But listen, we're going to move on anyway because it stinks.
Gross. Yeah, it stinks.
But what you call it? A new article as well. Stansted Airport, which is quite interesting. They've actually gone, instead of going like an ANPR route like Heathrow has. I think Heathrow, I haven't been for a while, is completely ANPR now, isn't it? Don't you drive in, they just let you go out and then you pay online? I'm pretty sure.
On drop-offs, pickups, no. Pickups, you still get them tickets.
But on drop-offs, you drop off and go, and then you got to pay online.
You just drive straight off, yeah.
So Stansted Airport hasn't gone down this route, which is a bit mad. But what they have done is they've gone cashless. So like imagine like Manchester Airport now, where when you drop off or whatever, you go for the barrier and you pay by cash or card. Stansted Airport has gone completely cashless now, so it's card only, and they think it's going to streamline. Obviously the drop off and pickups, which it might do. You know what I mean? If you're not rummaging through coins and stuff. But what my question to you guys is, I'll start with Mark this time, is this is just slowly going to be edging towards a cashless society, innit? And do you reckon that's going to be soon, within 5 years, 10 years? Like, do you reckon it's going to be coming in, and how will it affect the trade?
Definitely soon. I don't know. You can't put a time scale on it, can you? It could be within the next year, could be in the next 20 years. But would it affect the trade? Well, Uber's already like that, isn't it? And it's not affected them, has it? So I think, and this is going to sound horrible now, you've got the old people that tend to deal with cash, don't they? They can't do the smartphones. And once they're no longer in the equation, I think
it's a generation thing then.
Yeah. I think eventually money's always going to be in the circulation, but I think 95% of the time you'll be using your phone, your watches to pay for things.
The only reason I've got cash is because of the odd job. Otherwise, I can't remember the last time I went to the cash machine to get cash out. Yep. I'm contactless all the way, and then obviously I get cash from work. But if I didn't get paid in cash, I'd never have cash.
It will happen because the government wants it to happen, because they can trace every single cent, can't they? So it will happen. It will happen.
What do you reckon, Matt? What do you reckon, Mick?
I don't think it'll affect the trade at all. Everyone thinks it will.
We'll just adapt with it.
I mean, if at the end of the day, if it goes that way, that's the way it is, isn't it? You're still going to have people that need to pay for taxis. You're still going to have people that it's like, tell me a driver now who doesn't, well, apart from myself, but who doesn't have a...
I still know a lot of drivers that prefer cash and like they only put
Yeah,
thumbs up
I'm
if
not
it's a
saying
cash
prefer.
job.
I prefer cash. I'm not going to sit here and say that I won't. But if it's it's the way it is, do you know? I mean, it doesn't bother me if it don't get cash, but I do prefer
Do you reckon
cash.
there's still people out there
It's easier. It's bum
not
bum
declaring and stuff?
and then
Yeah.
sitting in the car and getting your phone out or your chip and pin out, blah blah, setting it all up, putting the price in. It's a pain in the ass. I think it needs to be a little bit more for our industry. Something needs to be brought. I don't know, and there's a little bit more streamlined, so to say that word again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got apps on phones, you've got to open the app, you've got to thingy. You only get 10 minutes in a drop off. Some are even less, what I believe.
Do you know I've started now, and it might help you anyway. So you can have I've got like the Square app, and everyone's got all the different apps, haven't you? You got the Square app, the Low app, and all them, right? So where you can turn your phone into contactless, and you just put the thing on the back of the card, and you make the payment that way,
Yeah.
right? But when you do that, you've got to input the amount in, and then you go, yeah, mate, put your card there, and then it's done. What I've started doing now is when I get to the start of the journey, I just obviously I've been communicating them on WhatsApp anyway because this is the private work. At the start of the journey, I'll just say, listen, I've sent you the payment link there. Obviously, you can make the payment via your phone then in your own time then. And then by the time I've got to the airport, I've always got an email through saying receive payment. But when you go through the payment link option, it kind of pops up like, would you like to leave a tip? Do you know what I mean? So it's giving them that little option while in the back of your car to go, And I've noticed my tips have increased doing it this way. And also, people can kind of use, you can just, when you get the payment link, you can just use your phone and do, or your Google Pay or your built-in. You don't have to get your card out or nothing. It's dead fast and streamlined. And I've realised that that's so far the most streamlined way to do it. And also as well, it's not got payment limits. Like sometimes contactless is up to £100 or whatever, depending on the phone or the account.
I was just about to mention
you can send them a £300 one. Do you know what I mean? It is pretty good. I don't know if you've tried it.
Yeah, that's the links, but this is a thing with the contactless, isn't it? If lads are using contactless
you're about going back to the barrier?
No, I'm just saying if lads are using contactless ones, like I've got a contactless one on my phone.
Yeah.
But to be fair, and I don't do jobs over past Birmingham, so I've never had to I'm a Manchester and Liverpool man. They're the jobs I'll do, so I don't really get to the limit. But this is a problem with the contactless being limited, isn't it? Because I'll imagine loads of drivers, or even I know chip and pins, all right, but
that on your phone, there's no limit.
Have you removed the limit? It used to be £100.
I paid £165 for something the other day.
No, are you with Apple Pay?
Yeah, but I think it's down to the
because
user
because when you put your connect your bank card to your phone, it asks for obviously the card number, expiry date, your security code. Everything's all on it.
All right, I've just googled it just to clarify for the listeners as well. Some stores has a contactless limit. Some banks will restrict the Google Pay or the Apple Pay transactions depending on the bank. It varies from bank to bank, and some countries as well. So yeah, I think it depends on the individual. Do you know what I mean? So it depends who you bank with, and also the payments. Like if you go into a shop, in a corner shop, they might have maximum £100 limit or whatever.
Yeah.
So you paid £165 with your phone,
165, yeah. On my phone.
Okay. Because I had one a few weeks ago, and it was £115 or something, and it was it kept on error.
Yeah.
So sent them the payment link, and it worked. Then. But yeah, going forwards anyway, I've realised because like you say, when you use your phone as a terminal, you got to put the money in yourself, haven't you? And you're not going to go, hey, do you want to throw a tip on that for you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you just put the money in and just you go bing and get out. But if you send the payment link, you do get a better chance of getting a bit of a cheeky tip as well. But that's pretty cool, isn't it?
And that
Yeah,
is.
it's not too bad doing it that way, I suppose. It's just more. I just feel that it's a little bit more of an inconvenience, though. Whereas cash is dead easy,
For
bang,
who?
gone.
Oh no,
Well,
cash. Yeah, 100%.
do you
I
know
was
what I
on
mean?
about like that's the best cashless option in my opinion. But yeah, cash is
Yeah.
you can because also well, you always round it up. If it's a 65 quid fare, normally they just give you 7 tens or whatever. Don't do
Yeah.
70 quid and go, yeah, mate, go on, a nice one for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it's contactless, like you go bing like that, they don't even consider the tip. That's where the
No.
whole when you work for local taxi versus Uber, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many tips you get on Uber compared to like the local taxis? You used to
No.
get loads of tips on the local taxis. Every fare was nearly a tip, wasn't it? Rounded up to £1, £2,
Oh, yeah.
latest fiver. Do you know what I mean? So a cashless society is killing the tip trade, like it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's one thing it will
Um,
damage. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think it'll reduce the amount of work we'll get. It's not going to kill the trade that way. Do you know what I mean?
maybe put off some drivers. The old school ones are still working with cash. They might be possibly starting to
Yeah.
carry on going cashless. You know what I mean? Because they probably
So if
still
anything, the better.
flagging it.
Better in that way, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yes. Yeah. So maybe cashless going forward might increase the trade because more people want to use it for the cashless thing, and also less drivers might give a few drivers off in it, possibly. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But more recently, like same again on DM News, Uber. I don't know if it was in the UK though. I think it was in another country, but still, it can still obviously happen here. Is our driver got banned from the Uber app, right? Because he had a dirty car. Now, obviously, we all get complaints. We all had the 1 stars, passengers trying to look or whatever, had they? But on the article, if you go and read it, it literally says that he had multiple complaints of dirty car, and then Uber's warned him about having a dirty car, and then they banned him for 3 days to get. Obviously, must be to get the car cleaned, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But have you ever been in an Uber as a passenger and like it's been minging? I've been in a car a few times and it stinks of smoke. There's ash everywhere.
Yep.
Like it is really bad. So I'm not the one that types of grass and that, but you're nodding, Mark. Have you been in a few?
Yeah. I was on one a couple of weeks back, and it weren't an Uber either. It was a local firm because I couldn't get hold of an Uber. So I went to the front door, said my name. They went, yeah, no problem. I started getting the front door, at the front passenger door, and the seat were right pushed forward. And he went, no, you getting back? Because I know there's 4 of us. And he just looked at me. He muttered something. I don't know what he muttered. And so I opened it up, and there were probably about 4 or 5 cans. There were a McDonald's wrapper. So he obviously, well, when I moved it,
footwell as the bin.
yeah, in the footwell, yeah. So I got in. I just kicked them all, put the seat back, and he never really said anything all the way. And then when I pulled out outside my house, he realised I were a taxi, and that's when he chirped up. He went, "Oh no!" I just said something to him. I can't remember what I said to him, and then he said, "You not grass on me." And I goes, "I ain't gonna grass on you. Who would I grass to? Why would I want to do that?" But he felt bad, felt guilty, felt whatever when he realised I was another taxi driver.
But the thing is, though, mate, he should have felt guilty because you're a passenger, mate. Like myself personally, like I'm not like I'm a proper pro Uber, pro this, but like it's pro self-respect, isn't it? You're getting people in your car, and people are paying you to take them from A to B. Doesn't matter how they're paying or how much Uber's taking or whatever firm you work for. In my opinion, I always try my best to provide a good service. Do you know what I mean? I seen someone the other day, and they were outside a hotel, and it was like a little Toyota Yaris turned up, and he pulled up, and he just sat in the car, and the passengers went over, opened the boot, loaded up the luggage of the boot, and got it. You know what I mean? I always get out when there's someone trying to get stuff in the boot, you know what I mean? And what do you reckon, Mick? Have you ever had a dirty car, like as a passenger, or don't you get much Ubers?
No,
Or taxis?
that's the thing, isn't it? I don't get many taxis, if anything. I don't even when I go to match now, I don't even get taxis. I jump on a scooter.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very rare my
your bus
taxis.
is always clean, innit? You always keep your bus clean.
I do. Don't get me wrong. I've turned up to a few jobs where it's been pissing down, and I've been down the motorway, and it's been a bit dirty. Do you know what I mean? But it never
can't be helped, though, can it?
Yeah, that can't be helped.
Never gets to the level where it's like,
innit?
oh, I'm not getting inside that. Do you know what I mean? I never let it fall below that level. There's little bits here and there where I look at it and think, oh, I should have really got that clean before that job, but it's to the level where you get away with it. Do you know what I mean? It's never. I never let it stoop. Like kids are in and out of my things, hands all over the thingies, and it winds me up. It literally, if I look to the left and see hand marks off the kids, I go mental at the kids. And little things like that just bug me. It's your office, it's where you work, do you know what I mean? It's like, falling back to the other one.
Thing is, if their car's like that, what's the house like?
Yeah, honestly, mate. I said, I done a little video on the YouTube channel as well. And I said, like, but like, there's just no need in it, is it? There's just no need. I got it, what was it? It was in an Uber. I can't remember if it was an Uber or a local firm, but I think it was an Uber because we made a joke and went, must be a Delta driver. Because when he picked us up, like, you can tell what a Delta driver is, can't you, Mick, in Liverpool? Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's been years and years on Delta, so they're used to, like, having battles with the passengers. The whole attitude of a Delta driver is quite thick-skinned and quite forward. Do you know what I mean? Because on Delta, obviously, over the years, you can get quite bad passengers in Delta. And
this is the thing, though, sorry, I thought you were finished. Go on, carry on.
No, go on. Yeah.
This is the thing as well. If people do get into them types of taxis with the dirt and everything, if that's the way they work, imagine how they live.
I know.
Yeah. You just said that in your mouth, so it is, right? Because I got in this car, mate, right? And the fella, don't be wrong, was sound, right? Yeah. But you know, I got in, right? I got in with the wife and we're going to town. So, you know, we had like jeans on, a little bit of smart clubber and that. And I got in, right? It was one of those Ionics, you know, the hybrids, you know, the neck breakers. I got on the back, broke my neck when I got in. And then literally, mate, stank of smoke. There was ash. When we were on the motorway, I had the windows down and the ash was blowing around the car like Crystal Maze. Do you know what I mean? Trying to grab the notes. It was literally like that. Me and the wife don't smoke, so it was like in the back, and it stank, right? And he was doing about 110 on the motorway, right? Down a junction. And the windows are open, and he had the footy, have you heard the radio where it just repeats the footy scores? The footy score radio on match day. Blasting. Yeah. And I was like, in the back of the car, smoke flying about like 110 miles an hour. And then you go, obviously, I'm a 5-star. I'm a 5-star to me. Do you know what I mean? I'll just always have done. But you can kind of understand sometimes from a passenger point of view. Do you know what I mean? You got in that car and it was just you and your birds, or just two girls. And you bombing it down the motorway, ash in your eyes, stinking like that. You get out to town for your night out and you're wrecked, aren't you? You're minging. Do you know what I mean? And just sometimes, like, yeah, I do. It's a bit of personal. Like, I'm quite of a clean person anyway. And, like, it just drives me insane when you just, the basic thing. Yeah, you are right, Mick. You can have a dirty outside car, up and down the motorway, 2 back-to-back man airs, you're right. Do you know what I mean? But you just got to make sure the interior, pick the wrapper up.
And it takes 2 minutes to have a sweep up.
Yeah, a little shake your mats, put the mat back in. You only can do little bits in between. I've got baby wipes in the car. And you know, sometimes they get in and you put the foot down the back of the car or across the door sill. Yeah. I hop out, baby wipe, brush the seats down, shake out the mat. 2 minutes. The outside might be dirty, but they get in and it's air freshened or whatever, and it's just clean. And I do that, by the way. That's not because I do my own airport company. It's more I do like general taxis and Uber. Do you know what I mean? I just think we're providing a service. We should do a good one, right? But the reason I brought this up was not just about the dirty cars. It's because when I'd done a TikTok about it, and loads of commented. Now, I don't know if the people commenting was defending themselves for having a dirty car, but it was more of not like focusing on dirty car, but more on an attack on passengers. Do you know what I mean? And what people were saying as well, yeah, what about that dirty car? What about the passengers? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously some passengers, mate, I'm sorry, they stink, yeah? And we've got different flavours and smells and tastes, you know what I mean, from the passengers, can't you? You can drive in, oh yeah, and you can just taste, do you know what I mean? You can just taste what they haven't washed last week, do you know what I mean? Minging it. One of the worst parts of the job is the smells and the fragrances that left in our car, right? But what I want to know to you guys, I'll start with Mick this time, but I'm going to say my first one. And my first one, which is no disrespect to them, because they're working, but my worst one is grease.
Yeah.
You know, when you pick up a Mackey's or a KFC worker, I'll defend you right now. You've been in work and attached to your clothes. I get you. But I mean, that smell hurts me. Where like people complain about weed. I love the smell of weed. Do you know what I mean? I could have that as deodorant. Takes me back to my childhood. I love the smell of weed. But the grease smell absolutely drives me insane. So, Mick, if you've got the worst smell a passenger could smell, what would it be, mate?
One, isn't it? You get in smelling of anything. It makes you not want them in the car. I don't know. Maybe.
Was it all smells?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't really noticed the grease smell, so I can't really.
You know
I
what,
know
though?
what
You've been in the bus. You've been in the bus as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I suppose it's not too bad for me because the further back than sitting on your lap or right behind you, auntie. But if I had to say anything, it's probably just the stench of, you just know when someone hasn't showered for weeks or months.
You taste it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Stop saying taste. That's fucking.
That's when you know. That's when you know it's bad. You get the smell, and then you get the taste. That's when it's bad.
It's too though,
isn't it?
Hey, you drive down the road and you like that, and you go.
Anyway, I've got a trick for any taxi drivers that don't know or mightn't know. It might still be an old trick of the trade, actually, and I've still got it to this day. When I used to work on the locals and when I was on local firms in cars as well, it was more. I was given this trick by an older lad who, when I joined, had been on it for 15, 20 years, and said, he said, we come across a few of them, mate. Here's a trick of the trade. Bottle of aftershave in your side door.
Aftershave? That's okay. Because everyone's got deodorants or whatever, but it's aftershave the one.
Yeah, but it's not your spray aftershave just for thingy. It's one that you can get your finger inside.
You're gonna dab
drop it in. Wish your finger around and then drive like that.
Right, I get you.
Drive
so
with your finger.
Personal...
So for anyone that's just listening, so dip your finger in the wish it around, stick your finger under your nose, put your arm on your armrest, and just drive like that. And away you go.
So this is not to get to fix their smell when you get out. This is more of a to deal with them
so
at the
you
time.
Can bear the journey.
Yeah. Because at one point, the customer got offended because I stuck it, the pine tree air fresheners, and I put it on me. I had like a hat, and I stuck it on my nose, and it was on my thing like that. I was driving, and the passenger said, "What are you doing, mate?" I was just doing it for a joke, and but you know what I mean, stank like. But that's a little bit less covert and a little bit undercover. That I like it, mate. I like
that, driving it, and then you've rubbed it underneath your nose, and it's bearable for the journey. And then once they get out, you can do what you need to do. Air your car out, spray, blah blah blah, do whatever you want, can't you? But there's not much really apart from dropping 4 windows or telling them to get a shower. There's not much else you can do apart from going and bear it, is there?
I've done it once where I've offered the passenger the deodorant because he was that bad. Literally, I could literally taste his armpits. And he got in the car. It was a summer's day. It was a summer's day, and he got in. And honest to God, you know, when he like Velcro, you can feel like the flaps stick to the other flaps. Do you know what I mean? He got in. I was like that, like that. You know, he got in. Like that, I could taste it. You know what I mean? He was licking his armpits. So I put some. I was like that. I was like, oh, mate.
Just say?
No. What I was doing is it was roasting. Do you know what I mean? It was a really hot day, and I put some deodorant on as you were getting in. Do you know what I mean? Because when he opened the door, it was like a warm blanket of BO. Honestly, it was the worst. So I put some deodorant on, and as you got in, oh yeah, I'm on the blast hot day today, innit? And he went, oh yeah, that'd be great, that mate. Do you know what I mean? I tried to be subtle. I'm not going to say you're stinking. Just you know what I mean? Yeah. The other time I've done it as well, where I've sprayed myself, but I've missed. No, I've missed on purpose and just sprayed in the back seat. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's hot today, innit, mate? I just missed my armpit and went straight over them. Do you know what I mean? Like a little defence blanket. But what about yourself, Mark? What's your... you must have had some smelly people. Like, so have you got any bad or your worst smells?
There's just too many in there, and I don't know what smell. It's just anything that smells. I try to keep my car really nice and smelling nice. And as soon as someone gets in, you're like... But the people I do hate, I've had this one woman, right? She had a child. And it was raining, like now. It weren't chucking it down, but everywhere was wet. And she walked across her grass verge. She opened the door, and the kid got in and walked all the way across the back seat. She sat down, And the woman got in. She goes, "Oh, keep your feet off." And I just went, "Well, it's a bit too late that." And she didn't hear me. Anyway, the job for about 15 minutes. The next thing I can hear is, she was eating an apple.
Crisp. Oh, an apple.
No, an apple. So I just thought, that's all right then. Eating it. Got there. Kid got out. Next job. Do you know there's a half-eaten apple on your back seat? She left it on back seat.
No.
I should have checked. And because it was a follow-on thing. And in my head, as soon as I pulled up, I actually thought to myself, that kid's walked across my back seat. I wonder if it's wet. So I had a quick look where the woman was sat. So it looked dry, but the apple was more behind me kind of thing, so I didn't see the apple.
So she threw it behind you?
Well, yeah, the kid was behind me. So I don't know. Well, she were eating it. The woman were eating it. So I reckon she's put it down. The kid's got up and walked. I don't know if she's left it there, but she started eating it. It was about a 10-minute journey, so it don't take 10 minutes to eat an apple, does it? So she's obviously had half of it and just left it on side on the... and a tissue. She used a tissue and split it in the pocket.
That's me head, mate. The worst one is nails as well. Have you ever had people where you pick the nails and throw them on the floor and you find like human nails on the floor?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sadly. I'm saying, listen, if you're watching, right, listen, you got to, like, our cars, is our office. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to come to your house, half eat an apple and throw it under your bed, are we? Or we're going to pick, you know what I mean, pick our nails and cut our nails and throw them all over the floor. Do you know what I mean? Or, like I said, the worst one is like the kids. The amount of times I've had the kids that run along the seat. Do you know what I mean? It is. It's just
leather, so it's all right.
It's bad. I've had someone piss themselves in the back of my car.
I have.
Literally pissed themselves while they're sitting in the back of the car.
I have.
That was back when I was in a car as well. Cloth seats. I nearly swore.
I'm on leather, so yeah, I have. She got out. I went round. An old lady. I picked them up from Heathrow. It was a man and a woman. I picked them up from Heathrow. I think she had problems anyway, so I don't want to go down that route. But she got out, and I went round to the back to get the suitcases out, and he were like walking her. And as he were walking, I could see she had like these grey bottoms on, and she were all wet. And I thought, oh no. So I've gone to the back seat, and the back seat was soaked. Luckily, I've got leather seats, so I just drove around the corner, wiped it all, got this foam stuff, wiped it all down, chucked it all away, and then I went and had her properly done.
On the locals, there's customers known for it, and drivers say, don't go and pick her up, she pisses herself.
Oh, nice.
Wow. But that's what I mean, like, what do
That's
we
what
have
it was
to
when I first started.
The stuff, you know what though? Hey, people don't realise, do they, what, like, the type of people we deal with. Do you know what I mean? Hey, because I pick up bar staff, and obviously bar staff and barmen are like really obviously deal with really fresh drunk people, don't they? And you go, oh yeah, you think you've got it bad? I went, the amount of people we've got to throw out because they're in bad behaviour or in a bad mess, and the bouncers throw them out. And I say to them, yeah, but how did he get home, love? I'm like, how did he get home? Once they've been through out, we've got to take them personally home, sat next to us. Do you know what I mean? I had one 2 days ago, 6 a.m, absolutely opened the door and just, and I just fell in the car like a flipping, hey, you know what I mean? Like a semi-comatose.
That's what I mean, the bouncers or the friends. They just go, well, get them in a taxi, boom, yeah, done, yep. See ya.
Yeah, and then they carry on and have fun, and we're taking them home, do you know what I mean? Honestly, it is. Honestly, people just don't realise, do they? Especially when you start, because that's why I reckon as well. Because they say there's a revolving door more these days because people think that the money's better than it is. Do you know what I mean? But it's more the fact as well as people don't actually realise what's involved with the job, and they'll go, oh, pick people up, drop people off. Sounds great, but yeah, that's only like a part of it, innit? Do you know what I mean? Dealing with the aggro on the roads, the traffic, the works. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going to lie though, I have been a passenger where I've not been able to get out the cab. And someone had to come and wake me up.
Michael!
Fell asleep in a cab?
Yeah.
You actually used to there to slam on and get off the seat.
I'd been on a stag do on the races. And yeah, I was bladdered. Literally, like, in the races, I must have been. I think we were on the whiskey on the rocks, and it hit me like under. When I got back from the races, I went where Sam used to work in Liverpool Supporters Club.
Oh yeah.
I was in there, and I was saying to Sam, it was only like, obviously you've been to races all day. I think we must have got back in there about 6, 7 o'clock. And Sam knew it was time for me to go home because I was going 7 in the morning. So she ended up, I've got a few drunken stories. She ended up putting me in a taxi and phoned her uncle who lived with her at the time, and we were living with them. I was living under their roof until this was just before we got our own place. I was in the back of the Acme's like that. Flat out.
You know what, though, mate?
And an uncle had to come and apologise to the driver and drag me out of the taxi.
No. You know what, though? Like people always like obviously there's a private hire Hackney fight in it. There always has been. And obviously Hackneys hate us because obviously they're parked up on the rank while we're coming and going all day. It must be hard to watch, right? But I have got a secret respect. Well, not even secret, I've said it loads of times. A big respect for Hackney drivers. Do you know what I mean? A proper cab drivers picking up the riffraff off the street, and do you know what I mean? I know they're protected by the plastic sheet or whatever, but do you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was a kid going out, you'd never phone a private hire when you were out in town, ever, to try and get home. You'd either walk out of town until you flipping pass out, or you're lucky enough to bag at Hackney. I remember coming out of a club at like 11, 1 in the morning, 11 a.m, 12, midnight, 1 in the morning, and like you could wait 2 hours to get home. Back in the day, trying to get home from town. Do you remember that, Mick? You know, with the Acme, isn't it? You just everyone's fighting in the street like that, going, I was first pace with the fun. Oh, like, it was bad back in the day. But like, yeah, I've got to respect it. I've got to respect that Acme, mate. And I've always been tempted just to have a blast of it. Do you know, like, next time I sell my car, if I'm off the road, just change me back over and have 2 weeks.
The experience of it's always been tempting, but it's never been enough for me to go, yeah, go on. Do you know what I mean? I've always the experience of driving around, getting flagged on the street and all that has always been like,
driving past the wheelchair users like they all do.
Yeah,
I'd like to do it in London.
Yeah.
Would you?
That's what I would like. Yeah, I'd love to do the London.
No
thanks.
I've heard that is heavy. That like, anyone who can do that is a flipping brainiac, in my opinion. Like that's some heavy.
I'd love to try it. I'm not saying I'll pass it, but I'd love to try it.
We have roots in Liverpool still, but it's like probably 5% compared to London. Not even that compared to difficulty. Like that London one's meant to be unreal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But saying again, you're a proper cab driver, aren't you? If you're an Hackney driver.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a private hire myself, do you know what I mean? Some of these badges you can get so easy now. It isn't like, oh, look at him, he's a Hackney driver. You know what I mean? He's a taxi driver, do you know what I mean? But a proper Hackney, where you got to go and get your lane and you do all the routes. Do you know what I mean? You had like A to Z back in the day.
I still think a private hire driver should be on the same level, if not more. Because when you think 100%. About it, a private hire driver has to know, for one job, 2 addresses. A Hackney driver has to know 1 address.
Yeah. Yep. You're right there.
They pick up off the street, they go, I'm going here. They only need to know where they're going. We need to know where they're picking them up and where we're dropping them off. Yeah. So we should be on.
I've always said, I know we've covered this in the podcast in the past, but I mean, I'm going to say it again. I've always said that we need the government to come out and go, every council has this minimum criteria to be a private hire driver. Just a minimum one. And then some councils can make it a bit harder. No.
Yeah, can you drive? Yeah, that's the minimum criteria. That's the minimum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, not really, no, because some can't drive.
DBS is standard, isn't it?
DBS is standard. I think that's the only... No, DBS and medical. Thing. That's probably the only standard ones is DBS and medical. Because obviously you can't drive if you've got no eyes or you're blind.
Your knowledge.
Obviously. You know what I mean? You can't drive if you're an axe murderer. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they're the only 2 mandates. Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, your knowledge of anything's nothing to do with the government or nothing thingy. So they should have like you say, they should set the tests. They should. Yeah. Blah blah.
Same as well. I think they all should be similar priced as well. Because you think about it, if you live in Manchester, and the Manchester one I think is hard as well, like Liverpool City one. Manchester one's hard, I've heard is hard as well. So what you're doing is you're in Manchester now, you're sat here and you're like, oh, I want to be a private hire driver, right? And then you go look at Manchester and you go, it's 500 quid. You got 8 months of training. And you go, right, Wolverhampton, it's a £5. It's a 10-minute train course.
It's a box of cornies.
What are you going to do? You're going to go to the Wolverhampton one. Obviously, by the way, I'm joking. Wolverhampton drivers get on me back a bit when I make a joke. It was a joke, guys. I know it's about 10 minutes in it. All right, I was only joking. I know. I did.
Bully.
Do you know
Big
what?
bully.
Do you know what? From a driver point of view, I reckon it's the smartest thing ever. If literally I was going to be a private hire driver now, I would go for the quickest, easiest badge. Well, to be honest, no, not now I won't, because I know it might change in the future. But like 2 years' time, 2 years ago, if I was starting out, I probably would have went to the quickest, easiest badge I can get me hold of, because you just want to get out and in. So like, from a private hire driver, I exactly see what they're doing. But what it is from, I don't like Wolverhampton to a certain degree, is from the council aspect. The fact that they're mass producing and just churning them out for a financial benefit. Do you know what I mean? And that's all they're doing, without in the care and the whale of all the other drivers in the trade. Do you know what I mean? Because when other councils are bottlenecking, because either they're hard or they're expensive or there's a backlog, Wolverhampton's just throwing the extra drivers into the mix. Where there's always been a bottleneck in the trade of new drivers. There's always been a slow, steady pace coming into the trade because of set requirements or costs or just literally processing power. I think Sefton Council's taxi licensing team to processing badges and stuff is less than 5. Seriously, Sefton Council. It takes like 6-8 months to get your badge in Sefton Council. Wolverhampton, as last time I heard or read, was 140 or something mad like that of staff processing badges. Do you know what I mean? They've literally just mass produced a private hire badge.
It literally is down to just financial gain as well.
Yeah. There's no other benefit. Do
You can't blame the drivers for doing it, can you?
No problem. I've got no problem with either.
You can't blame the drivers for doing it.
No, 100%. They need to earn money. We all need to earn money. But the problem is, because they've streamlined it and made it super fast and easy, do you know what I mean? The quality of driver coming through isn't the greatest, but also it's more the speed of them coming through. Do you know what I mean? Like I've said a million times, if Merseyside can only produce 100 new licences a week, but then you're throwing an extra 100 from Wolverhampton, there's 200 new licences coming in a week, where only 100's leaving. And that's the whole issue. And with my Wolverhampton thing. But yeah, most of the time I'm joking and memeing and it's content in it for the channel. As soon as I say Wolverhampton, I get double views, you know what I mean? So a lot of it's just content. And also it's just jokes, because in my opinion, Wolverhampton's become like the meme of the trade, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're not picking on the drivers, are you? You're picking more on the council.
Yep. Mate, I literally know Wolverhampton drivers and the flipping scousers and the good lads. Working hard, grafting. Happy days. Nothing to do with Wolverhampton drivers.
Here's one for you, though. I took a lad to the airport, and he's only had his badge doing it part-time, worked in Land Rover. Worked in Jag, Jaguar Land Rover, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, simple.
Works in Jag, but he was only doing it for, like, part-time. And the backlash of COVID, they're still feeling it, because they're giving the workers like downtime. They're starting to reduce it now. There's been a lot of work going on in Jaguar as well. So places have been closed in the factory. So if your area's been closed, you get downtime and you get like laid off for like a week or two, or a week on, week off, week on, week off, week on, week off.
Because he's done it to fill in his downtime.
So when he's had that downtime, he's gone and got a badge, and he says, "Look, now I've got it. I go out on like a Sunday when I haven't got my lads footy, or a Saturday when it gets called off, or I go out and do a few hours here and there." But you know what he said to me? He said, "You go up to Jaguar car park now, you'll see about 200 taxis parked up in there, and it's the staff in Jaguar. They're all doing it part time."
I've said this for ages, haven't I? I think it's very situational, but I do think Uber's now a little side gig in between. Like we all three of us use Uber, don't we? To saying, I know me less than others, but we always use
They've
Uber
made
to
it
fill in
easy
the
to do
gaps.
that, haven't they?
Fill in the gaps around the thing. Yeah, I know lads who are working full time Monday to Friday, got out a little bit of a weekend of an evening, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But to do a full week on Uber, I reckon the full time Uber drivers, you can't be like the sole income in your house. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be
No,
like you're semi-retired and you're getting out of that, getting away from the wife a little bit, or you're
Top your
young
pension
and
up.
you're 25 and you're living home with your mum and you're getting that dough in to get your nice car, stuff like that. Yeah, but if you're like, just say I'm the only income of the house. My wife stays home and looks after the kids, and I'm the only income in the house. I could never provide a full-time income on Uber.
No.
I would have to live in the car and not see the family to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they do, don't they?
You know what I mean? It is. Well, yeah, they do, to be honest. But yeah, it's such a hard, because it's like I said, it's 50% expenses, isn't it, really, more or less? But listen, Mark, do you have to get off at 20 past?
Yeah,
Was
about that, yeah. Yeah.
Right, listen, one more thing I wanted to point out, and it's more than really, it was just to point out, is a taxi driver recently, the articles on DM News as well, .co.uk, you should go check it out. But what's called a driver actually got lost his licence because he'd done a racial post or a racial comment on social media, and the council found out, or he got reported or gassed on, and he literally lost his licence and he got arrested, went to Crown Court, and they dropped it, I think, or something along those lines, and he got in trouble, and he dropped it, and then the council come back and said, oh yeah, he can reapply for his licence, but it's up to our discretion if we allow him back on the trade. So I want to just add this to the podcast to say there's a lot of people who are a bit mean in the comments on social media, YouTube, racial stuff, whatever. I'm just making you all aware to be very careful what you say, because these days it is an offence. And like you said, imagine losing your livelihood because you made even if it's a joke, but you made a flipping racial comments or something on the socials. Do you know what I mean? You can't get away with nothing these days, guys. And I just wanted to point that out before we ended the podcast, guys, because yeah, just be very careful what you put online, because like I said, imagine losing your livelihood, going home to the wife, getting filled in because you lost your licence because you said a bad joke, do you know what I mean? Or you want those trolls, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks very much, as per usual, to Mick and Mark. You've been a legend. This has actually been a really interesting podcast. I've enjoyed today. What's it, 52 minutes as well? It's been a good one, hasn't it? What are you feeling, Mick, Mark? Have you enjoyed it? Been a good one?
Yeah.
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 I enjoyed it.
Yes, I don't think we've had a bad one yet, have we?
No,
Somewhere.
no, I don't think so.
It's
I think just sometimes. Oh, sorry.
Saying it's different when we're sitting here talking stuff we're talking about, and we're not going to sit here and say, "Yeah, that was."
We
crap,
enjoy
that.
it, but do the people watching enjoy it? That's the question.
So let us know in the comments if you enjoy it, but like I said, do not be offensive because you might get your licence taken off you.
Yes.
But listen, Mark has to go to work. I've got to go and sort out my minibus with the council because it's transferring ownership, and it's some reason I've got to go all the way to the council in Liverpool city centre. It's going to take me half an hour to literally do that, and then that's with the final process of me handing over my bus. I've got to literally just show my face with my ID and say, yeah, in person. Even though I signed all the documents, but that's not good enough. So yes, and then I've got to come home, do the podcast, and that's it. Get the kids and stuff. So listen, thanks so much for watching, as per usual, guys. Make sure you follow all the socials, subscribe, like, and all that crap. And yeah, don't forget to check out DM News. Follow it on WhatsApp. And yeah, if you see any good articles, make sure you share them with peeps on social media and get the blog going and getting it busy. And yeah, thanks again for Mick and Mark, you pair of legends, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
See you later.
No, we all started at the same time. Haven't even planned. Yeah, how cool was that? I mean, definitely going to pull some birds later, aren't we? You know, we're all married. Ignore us. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.